Amethyst Steel. What have I said about Amethyst Steel? It's the greatest two colors in the game. You take them both, you put them together, best deck. So over the weekend, I played at a local tournament. It was only about 14 players for a Chapter 1 gift set, which right here, which is awesome. Obviously, we love our Chapter 1. Anyways, I played this Amethyst Steel Fairy deck. It's kind of based on my old Broom and Doom deck that I had won with in set 5, and the deck is still very playable. I don't know why or how, with only set 5 cards, the deck still works, but if you want to just run something and you like brooms, my old broom build is still very good. Anyways, so I built on it, and I really wanted to play with this big Queen of the Azurite Fairies Tinkerbell, which I'm still not completely sure how much I love, but it's just so fun to get out because she's massive, and in this evasive meta, you need it. So I built this deck knowing that there's a ton of evasive decks out there, and that locally I don't have a lot of Ruby Sapphire players, so I could go less aggro than I usually have to. So we got the blue fairy here. The blue fairy is every time you play a Floodborn, you can draw a card, which is kind of the basis of the deck. I just threw in a bunch of Floodborns. I used to have two Grab Your Swords, but I dropped it, and this one elephant was. I had a goat, and I realized that if I had one goat in the deck, it would actually drive me insane because I'd be searching. Oh, if only I had my one goat, it would make me go crazy. Anyways, it was 4 rounds Swiss, and I 2-0'd everything. I won every game without losing. Not a single game, even on the draw. It felt really good. I played uh, some pretty good decks, mostly just a lot of Amethyst. I had 3 Amethyst matchups, and I would just play more evasives than them. And then we went to top cut, and I played Ruby Sapphire, and that's where I lost one game. I was on the play actually, and I lost, but it was just a really bad hand, and he had a great hand in the other games. He just had really bad hands, and I managed to squeak through. And then the final game was Ruby Amethyst, and that was a cakewalk. I had really, really nice openings, and I just outpaced and gained a bunch of lore. But there's other additions to this deck. If you notice, my last deck was like $400, and someone mentioned that. I'm like, sorry, yeah, it's a pretty expensive deck. This is way cheaper. It's still not cheap, but there's alternatives. You don't really have to have Genie, and Robin Hood is also kind of optional. So, if you can trim some dollars off of this. And only 9 uninkables is super flexible, even though I was still having problems with the uninkables. I think that's just my curse. But there's a ton of other cards you can add. You can add any Floodborn. I think Beast is great, but he's not super necessary. I never really had a time where I needed to draw more cards. But if you feel like Beast is a card you really want to have in the deck, then go for it. Simba's also another option because locations can be really tough. I don't play Fox. So those early locations, if Steel Song's playing them, or if you get wiped and they play Micduck Manor, Simba's just a great, cool option you can mulligan for and maybe pop a win out of just getting rid of a Micduck Manor. And then Goat. Like I mentioned before, I don't just want one goat, so maybe if you make some other cuts, if you drop the big fairies, maybe you'll have room for like 3 goats. Goat's always great. Alright, so the general goal of the deck is to just play a bunch of evasives. And a lot of matchups right now, they just are trying to play evasives. They're playing Elsa's Genies, Peter Pan's, Iago's, whatever. And if you do the same thing, you can pretty much just beat them. You have Crab, you have tons of options to kill their characters in the air. Just a bunch of evasives. And the other ways, we play Floodborns. You don't have to have the blue fairy out. It's just really nice. It feels like every time you play a card, you draw a card is an amazing feeling. But overall, the Floodborns are just really strong cards. Like Bell and Robin Hood are just necessities, to be honest, in Steel. I know a lot of people don't play Robin Hood right now, but I think you should. And Tinkerbell, the amount of games I win just because I throw Tinkerbell out are insane. Alright, so let's go through play lines. This is pretty simple. You just play the 1-drops, the shift targets, play the blue fairy, and then shift. You draw a card out of it, and now you have this evasive, and you get this cool character. I usually don't quest with blue fairy because there are a lot of evasives in the meta, but if you know you're not playing against evasive, you might as well quest. If it's like a Steel Song, like they don't play evasives, they just are gonna shoot her. Let's get the lore. I don't know, it doesn't matter. But like if they're playing Amethyst, they might Peter Pan. I would just hold it. Just wait for them to Elsa. And then you just play Genie after. I mean, like turn 4 doesn't really matter. You play like Library and move the blue fairy to the library or whatever you have. Just keep playing stuff. And then turn 5, keep doing the 5 drops and stuff. Um, and then the evasives. If you know you're playing against like Emerald Steel or Emerald Amethyst or maybe even Ruby, not really Ruby Amethyst, but you know if there's a lot of it. My dog is sounding like a fire alarm. Anyways, so the one drop doesn't really matter. You can do the broom, you can do Robin Hood, Mickey, whatever it is. Into broom, into Tinkerbell, and you could shift Tinkerbell if you need, or you can play Genie, or you can grab the broom to take out a Genie. Like there's so many different ways to just absolutely murder their evasives. It's a lot of fun. Let's go over the win cons real quick. So this is just my general aggro thing. I realized before that I put my face cam down here so you couldn't see this one, so I just removed the 6th matchup. But it's just for aggro in general, not specifically like Turtle Dogs or whatever. Like Tinkerbell's amazing. She just cleans up. If you get a Tinkerbell, you pretty much have won. But Smee, just because he has high strength, and Crab, kind of for the same reason, but he can help you, boost into daisies or whatever. And Bell is very good. It's pretty much your only like real removal in the deck, so you want to hold on to Bells. Let's just move on. It's not super important. Amber Steel, Steel Song, Menace locally. Oh my god, my dog is so loud. Um, Robin Hood's amazing. Steel Song can't really deal with Robin Hood super favorably. Like they have to Zeus it and let the Storm Rage on or something. It's not good for them. He does have the issue of leading into Rapunzel's, like on their Lawrences, but I wouldn't worry about it too much. Robin Hood's just an insanely good card. Genie's also great because they pretty much have to Zeus or maybe Strength to kill the Genie, and he can just quest out. Crab's amazing as well because you can throw those Mickeys into their aerials or even daisies. Crab just helps you do the math, and then a 3/3 body is amazing at cleaning up Steel Songs. And then Mim, even though it's a 1-of in the deck, this card is brutal against Steel Song because same reason as Robin Hood, they can't easily take it out. They have to throw multiple cards at it to deal with the Mim. I'm gonna deal with my dog. I don't remember where I was, but yeah, Elephant's just amazing. If you can throw the damage off, it kills a lot of the stuff in Steel Song. It, it's, it's just a murder house, dude. This card, every time I played it over the weekend, just devastating. Like people didn't know what to do about it. I saw one person threw 4 different characters into my Mim just to take it out. Like that's crazy. Like that. I don't know. It's a good card, and I think it's a sleeper. Ruby Sapphire. How is it still here? I don't know. Hiram's dead, right? Hiram's dead. Anyways, this was. I played Ruby Sapphire that wasn't DKP's list. It was like, the classic, just without Hiram. And it fell flat, so that makes sense. It needs Hiram. Anyways, this matchup's really weird, and I don't really know the best way around it. This is definitely the worst matchup. Um, I think Smee's important because he has 3 strength and he quests for 2. He's just like really fast. Smee's always a good option. Library's great because they can't just be prepared or Sisu it. It can also help you get a lot of cards if you put Broom on it. Tinkerbell, I only put here because she has the highest strength in the deck, really, besides this one. It's like either Tinkerbell is good just because it has 4 strength. And then Rabbit, you just want to draw cards. Genie's fine too, but he doesn't draw as much. I think drawing cards in this matchup is so important. You just want to out-tempo them. And if you just keep drawing cards, they can't deal with it eventually, and you win. Emerald Steel. This is also kind of Emerald Amethyst. It's a very similar matchup for us as the Amethyst Steel players. So we want this broom to kill Diablo. I've talked to some Emerald Steel players, some just discard players in general. If you play a broom on turn 2, like they just want to cry because there's not a lot you could do about it. I mean, they could play 2 characters and then strength it, but otherwise they're just not shifting, and you've pretty much just delayed their entire game plan. Tinkerbell, a menace. Just dealing 1 damage to everything is brutal because there's a lot of matchups where like, oh, they threw 1 damage on their Diablo, now it's gone now. Yeah. This also allows you to, like with the 3-drop Tinkerbell, you can swing into Diablo and then shift to kill the Diablo. So there's just a lot of options there. Grab your swords pretty much just wipes the whole board. I got this off on one guy and I instantly won the game. So if you can mulligan for the swords, you'll probably win. And they should learn pretty quickly not to use the Ursula because there's only one song in this deck. So if after game one you never see the swords, they're like, oh well, he didn't have strength or storm, they might not Ursula, so you might be able to hold it in your opening hand. Otherwise, hopefully you just get lucky and draw it later on. And then library, because specifically for Emerald Steel, they don't really have a way to kill locations at all, so it just gets lore. It's not super important, but any evasive is great for this matchup, so maybe genies instead. Then Emerald, not Emerald, Amethyst Ruby. It's Amethyst Ruby, not Ruby Amethyst, guys. Why are we calling it Ruby Amethyst? It's Amethyst, then Ruby. I'm just saying, like, I don't want to be that guy, but that's just the case. It's the same with rubies. It's Ruby, then Sapphire. But, like, we got it right here, but we got it wrong. I don't know. Anyways, Blue Fairy is so good for this matchup. Both of the games that I played over the weekend, my finals match, I played 1-drop Robin Hood, 2-drop Fairy, 3-drop Robin Hood, and then I won. That's pretty much all I needed, because she drew so many cards, and they can't do anything about it. I mean, until they get to Elsa, they can't really... They could brawl her, but I don't really care if they brawl her. Then there's Genie, same reason. It's just like just another evasive pressure they have to deal with. And with the Genie, it allows us to kill their Genies because we can Bell after. You know, we run into their Genie, we move the 2 damage, and boom, now we have a Genie and a Bell, and they have no Genie. Big Tank, she has 5 strength, which is crazy. There's no strength related removal I can deal with her in the game. And it feels amazing when you just have this 5/6 evasive sitting there that can trade with sharks. Yes, please. Alright, let's talk about mulligans. Mulligans are very important for this deck. I learned very quickly that mulliganing hard is like a very viable option. So we really don't want the queen of the Azurite Fairies ever in our opening hand. I learned that as well because there's a lot of games where I was holding it and I was like, I'm gonna play it, and I never did. Uh, I mean, maybe if I was a little more behind, but they tend to kill the shift target before I get to shift. And don't hold multiple Robin Hoods or Mickeys or Tinkerbells or whatever unless you really, really need it. I just feel like most of the time, if I held these, they would just be stuck in hand, and you're going to draw into them eventually. There's so many of these Floodborns. Another thing not to hold is a bunch of uninkables. It might look good, and I think the only matchup I'll allow this is Ruby Sapphire. Otherwise, just pitch it. I mean, you can keep a Genie, of course, maybe 2. I'd allow keeping 2 Genies, but I promise you, you will draw into another rabbit. There are 8 of these 4 uninkables, and they can very quickly break your hand. Then there's the Tinkerbell line. If you have both of these, just keep it. There's not really a matchup where this is bad. My dog's like snooping. This is just good every time because in evasive matchups, you have your evasive, and then you can shift and deal with stuff. Or if you're playing against aggro, like maybe this feels bad, but by the time you get to shift, this didn't matter. It's just like a gateway to the big tank. And there's the Mickey shift line, which I don't use very often, but it's also pretty good against evasives because, like specifically this line, if you do Mickey, Broom, Mickey, you can kill a Diablo on the cove. Because when Mickey shifts, he does 1 damage, so you do 1 to Diablo, and then the Broom can finish off the Diablo. It's very specific, but I think it's a good enough line that you could keep it in your hand. It's not bad. Like you can deal with evasives and you can deal with aggro. And you can also sing swords. If you happen to have the swords, Mickey can sing it as an alternative to shifting Robin Hood or Tinkerbell. And these are interchangeable. Like if you get Mickey, Blue Fairy, Mickey, keep it. But yeah, same thing here. Robin Hood, Blue Fairy, Robin Hood is... It's just amazing. If you can always get the card after the Blue Fairy's already done her thing. Being an evasive that's probably going to absorb removal is a great feeling. So if she gets to draw a card, then like you're not really losing anything if they remove it. Alright, so I don't really want to show gameplay today. I don't think people are really getting a lot out of that. So I did want to show the mulligans. So we can simulate our mulligans here. Let's do a new game. So look at this hand. So we have a lot of the broom stuff. If we had a big Mickey, I'd say maybe keep it. We don't have Yensid anymore like we did in the old broom deck. But I'm a pretty heavy mulligan guy, so I think I'm gonna mulligan these 4. So we'll keep the broom because we want the evasive, the Mickey because we want a 1-drop, and the genie because it's genie. Alright, so this hand, like, it's not even bad. We'll probably keep we can do Mickey, broom, Mickey. Or if we're like, oh, they're not evasive, we can switch to Smee and we can ink the broom instead. But I think like turn 1, we'd ink Robin Hood and play Mickey. I wouldn't hold multiple 1-drops. This isn't a go wide kind of deck, but this hand is pretty solid. So like a hand like this it's just really bad, and this is the point where I almost mulligan the whole thing. I might keep the blue fairy. Nah, I think I'm mulligan all 6. Yeah, see, that's so much better. And because there's only 9 on equals in the deck, you really have the option to just throw everything away. So like here we could do Robin Hood, Smee, Shift Robin Hood, which is just so nice. And then we have this crab as backup, and a Tinkerbell. We'd ink Broom first, I think. I think Mickey's more important than Broom. But either one, you're probably going to end up inking both, so it's whatever. No, this hand is weird. I think this one's really weird. We kind of need the 2-drop. I think I'd be down for this. This is like a unsafe mulligan, but I think we mulligan all 4. Because we have the Robin Hood, and we really want a 2-drop. There we go. Blue fairy. That's all we needed. And then we can see, what did I say? We mulligan the genies and the rabbits because we're going to find more genies and rabbits. I don't know if we should try mulliganing for certain matchups, but like, just in general, these hands are so much better if you mulligan heavily. Alright, so like, against Emerald Seal, this hand already is almost perfect. It's a really good hand. We might actually keep the rabbits. No, we want to keep genies. In Emerald Steel, we want to keep genies, not rabbits. I think we keep all this. Yeah, this is good, actually. So then we can ink the Robin Hood, play Mickey. Next turn we can maybe ink whatever we draw. Hopefully not the crab. We could play Blue Fairy if we have to. Now they have to remove the Blue Fairy. If they don't, we can use crab on Blue Fairy to take out Diablo, which is just so nice. So nice. Let's do Ruby Sapphire. So Ruby Sapphire is pretty rough, and I think we just want to go aggro, so let's keep all of that. This is really bad. This is a really bad hand for Ruby Sapphire. But there's not a lot of good hands, so I think you just throw 1-drops out until you win. Ruby Amethyst, maybe. Ruby Amethyst is, pretty rough, but I think this is a pretty solid hand. Yeah, that was really good. It's a really simple pick, but we have the Robin Hood shift line, and I kept Broom in case we need the evasive counter, and we kept Smee because Smee is just one of the best cards in the game. Let's just do aggro. If we're playing against aggro, what do we want? This is actually really solid. We have the crab. We'll keep the bell. This is fine. Like, that's a good hand. It doesn't really matter because as long as we have Mickey, Smee, crab, like, we should win that matchup. Not having Fox hurts, but it's not necessary. Alright, so hopefully these mulligans help you out a bit. I'm not really sure how else to teach or what matchups are super important, but if you have more questions, please ask. I will always answer any questions you have about mulligans or matchups or different deck tags, because there's so many cards you can fill in here. And yeah, I think that's all. So thank you for watching. I would appreciate it so deeply if you would subscribe or leave a like, leave a comment. Let's chat. I'm always down for any suggestions you guys have. And I wish I could upload more. I don't know why I get like these little spurts of not uploading very often. So I plan on uploading more. This is going to be like on a random Monday, but it's whatever. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.